Yeah, I know. The first book I've reviewed since New Comic Book Day isn't actually Harleen. I know. You're expecting that, right? But I got to think about it some more. I got to think about it. Whereas reading this book, my reaction was very immediate, very vis. Oh, I need to get that out of the way. There we go. One Rags movie poster thing. Wow, that thing is tall. It won't even stand up in my cabinet. Seriously? Just how big? No, that has nothing to do with Wonder Woman. Let's get back to Wonder Woman. We don't need to think about cool posters. All right, so Wonder Woman. The new story starts out kind of interesting. You got like evil corporate espionage stuff. They drop Wonder Woman, blow up the building. Like it's over the top, but it's kind of cool. And then for no reason, we meet Harley Quinn, and it all just kind of goes downhill from there, up to the point where I don't even know what's happening here, and they shoot down an airplane at an airport. Okay, I know one of you is a superhero and the other is a supervillain. Anybody who tries to make Harley Quinn a superhero, that's wrong. That's not the character. She's a supervillain. Get over it. Anyway, I know you've got like your superhero Wonder Woman. You can get away with a lot of stuff, but bringing down an airplane at an airport, I think there might be some consequences to that one. Didn't like the news story at all. Although it was full length, I think. Let me count the pages real quick. Let's see. One, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Got a one-page ad, another ad. So that's 9, 10, 11, 12. 12. Okay, so never mind. It's still a half. Wait, 12 times 2. So it's 24. So yeah, it is a full-length story, unlike the other ones. Because I think in the other the old 100-page Giants, the new material was a half an issue. That's kind of cool. Hopefully, it gets better from here because I didn't like that story very much at all. The art's all right. Like I don't want to make it sound like it isn't. The art's pretty, and I really did like the way it started. But we just got this rich business guy and whatever. Then we get to this actual Wonder Woman story. Here, it's a reprint. Year one, part one. It's from Greg Rucka's run. Um, I gotta be honest. I think I liked this better when it first came out, like a decade ago. Because reading this, it just felt like we're retreading stuff I've heard a million times or read a million times. That's the problem with like doing reboots and doing like doing origin stories over and over. Like how many times has Batman's origin story been told? I'm bored of it. I'm bored of Wonder Woman's origin story. Don't think anybody needs to read this again because we all know it. Oh, there is one great bit in here I did like. Even though this story didn't do a whole lot for me. Years ago, I'm sure I said this was pretty good, but reading it this time, it didn't do a lot for me. But I really like this Wonder Woman and Hippolyta uh, just being sweet with each other, like families are supposed to be. I really like that. I thought that was fun. As for the rest of the story, there's it's like fantastical drama, Steve Trevor, blah 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 blah. They get to this Green Lantern story, and I was absolutely bored to tears. Didn't we just have a Green Lantern story not that long ago that rehashed like his childhood and origin and all that boring kind of stuff? Like, didn't we just have that reprinted in one of these 100-page giants? Like I think it was like a flashback or something. It was in a different art style than the other parts of that issue, but it was still there, and it wasn't that long ago. And this bored me to tears. We are striking like 0 for 3 here, man. 0 for 3. We've had some decent looking art. I mean, this is decent looking art, but I haven't enjoyed any of this. There's just nothing there. It's a nothing burger. The Amethyst story, on the other hand, you start out with what looks like a boring high school drama kind of thing, right? And before you know it, our protagonist is saving her friend from some football players who are wanting to do the bad thing, and then they skip out before they can get in trouble. and they wind up in another world, and it's all fantasy adventure and stuff. And I dug this so much. This was the absolutely the highlight of this book. This makes me want to dig out the old issues. I got a couple old issues, Amethyst or Gem World or something like that, sitting in a short box, and this makes me want to go read those. They're from like the '80s, man. I got them like cheap. This makes me want to go read those. Like that's how a story should be. It should make you want to read more. And this absolutely makes me want to read more of this. The dialogue's fine. The interactions between the mom and the daughter are fine. They get to the new fantastic fantasy world, and it's fun and adventuresome. And then John Constantine comes along in the last panel and just messes everything up because he's John Constantine, and that's what the man does. So I really like the Amethyst story. I thought that was a wonderful addition to this book. I just wish the actual main content of the book, the previous three freaking stories were actually like worth reading for me. Maybe I'm just not the intended audience because like Wonder Woman Year One, it doesn't do anything for me because I'm pretty familiar with the basic outline of Wonder Woman, and so her telling me her origin story again, even though it's been retconned what like 15 times now, doesn't do a whole lot for me. The new story teaming up with Harley, that's dumb. I can't put it any other way. I bring a rocket launcher to an airport. I blow up an airplane and crash flaming jet fuel all over the tarmac. So she just killed a bunch of people or caused millions of dollars of like damage to the economy to shoot down one plane when Wonder Woman could have just like jumped up on the plane, bust through the cockpit, punched the pilot, took control of the plane and landed it. Like this is not something that Wonder Woman cannot do without help from Harley Quinzel. Oh, there's hold on. There's one bit I did like another bit I liked in that story, and it's when they're at a diner and an assassin comes to get them. And for a second, I thought that was the silencer. It kind of looks like it. The skin tone's wrong. Skin tone is absolutely wrong. But the short haircut and stuff, I was like, oh, is that the silencer? And then I realized, oh no, no, that's just some rando that came to take them out. But I thought that was kind of fun. The little diner sequence. You know what? I'm gonna give the new story a half a good. So that's 1.5 goods. You know what? I got to give the art in the Year One stuff a half a good too. So okay, so final analysis, we come up with like 2 out of 4 goods in 4 stories, which that sounds pretty good to me. That's certainly better than the recommendation or the like ranking I was going to give it when I started this review because I was going to be like, this is a 1 out of 4, avoid it. But now it's like, you know what? There's some redeeming qualities in the stuff that I was dismissing. So, in fairness, I got to give it like a 2 out of 4. It's all right, man. It may not blow your socks off, but it's all right. We're back to number 1. We were just at number 7. I guess this is because this book is now in comic book stores instead of just Walmart, even though the back says, you can. It's an ad for Walmart. IDK. I just live here. I'll see you all later. Bye bye.